It's pretty close.
It's another day. Children come and play with chocolate button.
Chocolate button.
The sun is out today. I'll say hello today to chocolate button.
Chocolate button.
I'll teach you how to read and write. Not sure I can ride a bike. We'll go through all the letters and sounds, having lots of fun playing around. It's another day. Children come and play with chocolate button.
Chocolate button.
The sun is out today. I'll say hello today to chocolate button. Chocolate button.
2, 3. Chocolate button. Good morning, Mr. Magpie.
Good morning, I in the garden. Bye. I like that.
Hello and welcome to Storytime with Chocolate Button. Today we are reading our final chapter of The Little Kid's First Big Book of Space by Catherine D. Hughes and illustrated by David A. Aguila, published by National Geographic Kids. We've had a wonderful week learning all about space through this book and all of our experiments, and I've been really enjoying it. So thank you so much, Marcel, for putting this book in our hands and letting us read it all together. So let's get started then. We've got to chapter 5. Let's see if we can find it. We go to the contents first. Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's called Exploring Space. And it's on 106. Okay. 106 means 106. So let's just have a quick look at the numbers down here. 15, 33... 53, 89, 109. Oh, we've gone too far. Oops, daisy. There we go. Chapter 5. Exploring Space. We've got dust storm, lightning. Someday astronauts may explore Mars, like me. Solar collectors, shelter, laboratory, astronaut and vehicle. This one's about rockets. A rocket shape lets it zoom through the atmosphere. It is long and thin with a pointed nose. The rocket that carried Curiosity into space to start its journey to Mars was called Atlas V. And it looks like Atlas V, but that means number 5. It's Roman numerals for 5. The way Romans used to write numbers. Do you remember the year Curiosity was launched? No, you don't, because you weren't born. There we go. Rockets. Astronauts and equipment need to ride on a rocket to reach space. The rocket blasts up into the air. That is called a launch. The rocket has to reach a speed of more than 7 miles a second to escape gravity. Some rockets put satellites into orbit around Earth. Satellites can help make maps, connect cell phones, and send television signals. That's a weather satellite, which helps us to know if we should dress for rain, snow, or sunshine. Definitely rain today. It's pouring down outside. Here we have a spacesuit. Has many parts to protect the astronaut. A space helmet with sun visor, heated gloves, stripe to identify the astronaut, oh, so you know who each other are, and space boots. It's a good point actually, isn't it? International Space Station. The International Space Station, ISS, orbits Earth. It was built for astronauts to work and live for a few weeks or months. Astronauts sometimes leave the ISS to work outside the station. They take a walk in space. There is no air in space and it is very cold, so an astronaut wears a protective spacesuit. The ISS is about the size of a football field. Do you think it would be fun to wear a spacesuit and walk in space? Oh yeah. Do you remember when Akira put on the spacesuit in our workshop at the Science Museum. That was fun, wasn't it? Telescopes. Some of the largest telescopes on Earth are on top of mountains where the air is clearer. A telescope helps people see things that are too far away in space to see with only their eyes. When you look through a telescope, things seem closer and bigger. Astronomers use huge, powerful telescopes to study space. You can use a much smaller telescope at home. Have you ever looked through binoculars or a telescope to see things far away things better? Yes, we have, haven't we? We looked through binoculars in the garden, didn't we, when we were doing some bird watching? That was fun. A school bus-sized telescope called the Hubble Space Telescope orbits Earth. The Hubble telescope has taken more than 1 million pictures of planets, stars and galaxies since 1990. It took these space photos. There's the red supergiant star, Cat's Eye Nebula. Oh, and that's the Hubble Space Telescope itself. Flying above the atmosphere, the Hubble has an even better view of space than the telescopes on top of mountains. This is Mystic Mountain Carina Nebula. Gosh, it looks like someone's like on a horse rearing up, doesn't it? With a bow and arrow or something, a spear. In 2018, a new telescope will take the place of Hubble. It is called the James Webb Space Telescope. It will be able to see further and more clearly than Hubble can. So that's already happened then, presumably, because now it's 2020. Astronomers have discovered thousands of planets orbiting stars beyond our solar system. Some planets in other solar systems have 2 suns. Oh my goodness. This is an imaginary planet. Goldilocks Zone. Scientists wonder whether there are any other planets that have life on them. They are looking for other planets like Earth that are in a Goldilocks zone. That means the planet is just the right distance from its star, so that it is neither too hot nor too cold. It is in the right place to have life. There are probably many planets in Goldilocks zones outside our solar system. NASA found a planet far, far away that is in a Goldilocks zone. Wow, they found one! Oh my goodness, that's so cool. Do you know the story of Goldilocks and the 3 bears? Yeah, that's why it's called a Goldilocks zone, because Goldilocks liked things that are just right. Not too hot, not too cold. Not too big, not too small. Just right. An artist imagined this motorhome for explorers on Mars to use someday. Coated windows, solar panels for power. If there is a space station on Mars when you are grown up, do you think you would like to visit it? I wonder. I was asking Mr. Lee this just the other day. Would you go to space if you could? I think I definitely would. Living on Mars. Scientists think that someday people will visit Mars, but that won't happen for a very long time. This is a Virgin Galactic spacecraft on a test flight over California. Before that, people like you may be able to travel into space in a spacecraft that looks like an aeroplane. Oh my goodness, that would be so cool. Oh look, here's the solar system map. So there's the sun in the middle, and then we know about Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and then we have this purple line or circle is the asteroid belt, and on the asteroid belt is Ceres, as we learned before. Then we have Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and then those are the 4 of the big gas giants. And then we have the other dwarf planets, Pluto. Oh, I've forgotten how to say it. Haumea, maybe. Marke, and Eris. Oh my goodness, so cool. Oh look, here it says, use this diagram to see the order of the planets and dwarf planets in orbit around the Sun. The planet sizes are not to scale, which means they're not the right size compared to each other or the Sun. Oh my goodness. Oh, we've just been through that. How funny. These are some parent tips. And those as a glossary. At the end of a book there's often a glossary. And then the index, which helps you find something specific. And that is actually the end. Oh my goodness. That's the end of our story for this week. Now, I know some of you have already done this, but I thought you might like to make a picture or a poster to help you remember the order of the planets. So I've made one here. Look, I've got the Sun in the middle, and then I've got Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. Then I've got my asteroid belt with Ceres on it. Then I've got Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus or Neptune. And then I didn't have space for the other dwarf planets, so I just wrote them down there. But then, so we've got the rocky planets, they're the first four, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. The gas giants I circled in a different colour, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. And then the dwarf planets I did in brown. So you can see there's one, and then the others are even further away, but I ran out of space. Okay, so you could maybe do your own picture to help you remember all of the planets, but also the order of the planets as they go from away from the sun. Okay, because they're all going around and around the sun like that, aren't they? But it just is talking about the order of them as they go away. Okay, right. Well, thank you so much for all of your wonderful listening this week. It's been really, really fun reading this book, and so thank you very much again to Marcel for giving it to us, and to Catherine D. Hughes and David Aguila and National Geographic Kids for letting us read it during this time when we couldn't read it to you in person in school because of the COVID-19 crisis. Okay, right, well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy doing your planets picture, and I can't wait to see you next week for some more story time with Chocolate Button. Okay, bye, bye.